Who's on? Who's the first one on? I can't even tell. They go by so fast at the beginning, I can't tell. Sorry about that. There we go. Debbie was the first one on tonight. Hi, Tesh. Oh, it's early in California, isn't it? All right, Little Beach Girl. Good to have you along again. What a night, Jeff. Hi, Mullen. Yeah, it's late for me. It's 12:15. But you always gotta kind of debrief. I got some stuff going there on my computer. I'm putting Crystal Ballroom up online. That'll be there in half an hour or so on our YouTube channel at YouTube. Can you hear me okay? Because it's nice and quiet in here, so I'm not talking very loud. Yeah, the Crystal Ballroom was great to have played right there, Jim. It's not. They're doing. I mean, it's a fun song, but it's really hard to reproduce live. All right, you can hear me. Cool. There's a raccoon on my toe. I have no idea what that means. My boys are kind of tucked into bed now, and it yeah, they need a nice long sleep tonight. And we got a good afternoon from 37 Dart. Well, that's cool. You'll have to remind me where you're at. I can't. You're obviously what? Are you Britain or something like that? Kids loved it. They loved it. We had such a great time with them, and I am in my hotel room in Boston. You guys, what did you think of the show?
What?
What did you think of the show?
Great, amazing.
Great and amazing from
As
one.
good as it could be.
As good as it can be
I
from
really
the
liked
12-year-old.
Crystal Ballroom.
And Daniel, our 12-year-old, really liked Crystal Ballroom. So that's cool. Bullet was. See, it throws me off to have a different order. I almost said order of service, like a church service. But you guys will have to remind me what happened because it's all such a blur for me when I'm standing down there and having so much fun and kind of in the moment. Was that my long arm recording CB? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. They were actually broadcasting Meerkat from the side, right? On the floor. That could be. And then when the gal came up, um, when the gal came up to do the Meerkat, I know the camera came by on and off. We were just right on the rail, right to the left of Larry. And oh, I had my little phone flashing because I wanted Bono to see that I played guitar. So I just put the word guitar on it. I don't know if you could even make that out. And he was over there and he looked at it and he definitely knew I played guitar. And I was ready to go. I mean, those are easy songs. In fact, I had seen the set list because it was there on the E stage, and I knew that they were going to do "All I Want Is You," which is a totally easy song. It's like one of the easiest songs they do to play. So I was ready, and he kept coming over, and he kept pointing, and he was pointing at the girl standing right next to me, the kind of punk gal, and so that would be a hard one to top. She was one person over from me, like not the person right beside me, but right beside her. That was the gal. So. Uh, Somebody name checked me on Meerkat. What does that mean? I don't know. Maybe it came in on the name, but on the screen. Cool. Her name was no, her name wasn't Gretchen. It was it? I thought it was like or like Veronica or something like that. What was it? I don't know. Oh, I was hoping he was going to bring up another guitar, so I still flashed my little sign there a couple of times. Well, he wanted gals. I don't blame him for wanting gals on stage. He wants to get some women represented in there too. So that's great. I was really glad for him. But oh, it was Gretchen. Okay, but no. Oh, you're talking about the guitar player, right? Gretchen is the guitar player. Who was the gal that was doing the Mirror I thought it started with a V. She was from Houston. But the gal doing the guitar playing, bless her heart, I'm so glad she was able to play. But yeah, she definitely got a guitar lesson there. It's D. This is the way you finger D, like this. It's actually the key of A, but it kind of goes back and forth. So yeah, cool. So it was a great show. One of the fun moments. Chloe, thank you. That's who I was looking for. Hi Perry, how you doing? Um, Perry caught the book. He caught the which book was it? I can't remember, Perry. It was the one on. See, I'm tired. Um, Mirrorkeet of Bono on Larry's shoulder. Meerkat. I always say Mirrorkeet. Yeah, that was cool. They were right there together. And I noticed how much gear is on that stage that they have to watch out for. Bono almost literally tripped. I don't know if you saw him trip on the cords. He would have landed like right on the rail in front of us. That's where we were standing. Ginsburg, that was the one that, yeah, Ginsburg is the one that Perry had tonight. You hear blah, blah, blah when I talk guitars. Well, it was an A suspended to an A open to a D with an open E. How's that? That's how you play All I Want Is You, and you just do that over and over and over again. It's got a screenshot of Edge and Bono on Meerkat. That's pretty cool. So one of the really funny moments was when Larry started. Um, they were going to play Elevation, and Larry started playing Crystal Ballroom, and it was pretty funny because the way that works is Edge has to rely on Dallas down at the main stage to do his little wah wah pedal. At least that's the way I understand it's going. I haven't been able to look at both of them at the same time yet. I want to watch some video. But so Edge kind of takes off on his own, and then um, Larry started in on the toms for Crystal Ballroom. So it was pretty funny, and Larry does a like, what? And then he looks down at the floor like, oh yeah. He was looking at his uh, set list down there. That was again. We were just kind of standing right next to him. It was a really oops face. That was funny. And I had a lot of interaction with Adam. Actually, he just came over and he would just talk and kind of nod and stuff like that. That was nice. Um, what else? I saw Adam. It's interesting to see how much equipment change they do. Adam's just kind of changing bases back and forth and getting a pick, and he's drinking some blue stuff. I don't know what that is, but Adam drinks different stuff. I'm guessing it's some kind of mineral water or something like that. But somebody tracked down what that blue stuff is. I've heard that before, and it's true. Um, it's probably Gatorade. Yeah, I bet you're right. It's Gatorade, Chris. It's in a square bottle. What does that mean? I don't know what that is either. But Bono just chugs the water. He just downs it. So yeah, it's some kind of Powerade or Gatorade or something like that. What were other interesting kind of fun moments? It was cool to see when we were standing by the E stage, so everybody's in front of us when they start the concert. It's fun to see Bono walk out on the stage right there, and you get a sense of how short he really is. He's a very little man, but it's like in stand-up comedy, a small man with big ideas. Be careful, Josephine. Be careful. I'm a small man with big ideas. Napoleon in high heels and that kind of thing. Um, so you get a real sense of that. And then when he walks up and they do that whole set, with Electrico and Vertigo, and the crowd was just bouncing all the way through. It was really fun like that. Um, to see the lights, to see the crowd lit up, that was great. They changed set lists too. We watched. Man, I'm just totally blanking on Adam's technician again. Um,
Sam.
he came out and he changed the set list.
Sam.
Is that Mark? Who? Ham? Yeah. So Bad was supposed to be on the set list tonight. and they were going to be playing it from the East stage, and it didn't make it in. So we didn't get bad tonight. But yeah, it's okay too. It's all good. I don't really care. There wasn't a bad song out there, that's for sure. Um, and they ended with "Still haven't found what I'm looking for," and the crowd was really into it. The thing about a Tuesday, a Tuesday night is that, oh, thank you, Jim, and a lot of fun taking some pictures right there too. I always like to get the crowd too. I love the lighting on the crowd. I'll do some more of that tomorrow night probably. And the crowd was really singing along. So it's an interesting crowd. I don't know how to read a Boston crowd. It was a Tuesday night crowd, definitely. People were trying to get out. They had to get home. They had to get back to work, tomorrow and that kind of thing. So there was a lot of drinking, heavy, heavy drinking around us. Had beer spilled on us and some drunk people, a couple of them that were quite funny and loose, and a couple of them that were a bit frustrating too. Um, so I'm guessing Boston's it's a beer town probably because there was a lot of that going on, and apparently they have a medicinal use law here in town too. So there was a fair amount of pot being smoked out there too. So some people it loosens up, some people makes them just a bit annoying, and we had a few of those. They moved on. That's just the way it goes. It's an Irish town, that's for sure. Yeah. We have tickets in the stands tomorrow. I'm really happy with these tickets. We're up on the second deck, but it's real low and right in the center. So I'm really looking forward to um, just seeing the whole screen, which I haven't seen at that distance. Boy, those banners they're phenomenal. The banners that they drop down, they glow. They're like iridescent almost, or um, they're throwing some black light on them or something, and they're just making these banners glow, and it really divides the auditorium. It works really well. I could just barely kind of see under them, and then they withdraw them. They bring them back up for Invisible. We had a lot of noisy people around us during Wanderer and Invisible. People just don't get the sense that that's part of the show, and they don't like. I won't say they don't like. They just don't. Like my boys were saying, wow, there's like a lot of people who are just kind of not into this, or they're drunk, and why is all that? And there's a lot of people who just get you two at that pop level, and so that's okay. And I said to the family, well, we kind of got them at a deeper level. We're really going for it when we go to a YouTube concert, right? I think I said something like that. And they're not listening to me. Yeah, it's an interesting problem because Invisible seems, who said that, Lori? Invisible still seems like the intermission. And the thing is, this is the brilliance of the song, I think, is U2 loves to dupe the crowd. They really love the irony of being able to play and the crowd's not listening. It goes way back right to the Daltons, the Dalton family, of coming out on stage and Edge in a dress and them in cowboy gear and playing country songs, and nobody knows who they are. And the same thing happened on the Jimmy Fallon show when they go play in the subway and they disguise themselves. They love that stuff. So I'm guessing it doesn't really bother them too much to sing Invisible from behind the wall and in the wall. And see, people still think it's intermission. I figured that out tonight. People think it's intermission. They don't. They think this is just still kind of a blank wall. Hey, what? Tracy, was the invisible wall the graffiti wall? It wasn't, was it? It was a plain. They went back to a plain yellow wall on in Invisible, but the graffiti wall was way more complex tonight than I've seen it. Our missing angel is completely gone, and where it was a blur before, there's all kinds of stuff layered in over the top of it now. So I really want to look into that. I'm gonna have to have some help with that. Some of you people are gonna have to figure out, where all these bits and phrases are now. We'll start posting some of that stuff because I love pulling apart that Berlin Wall. I guess that's kind of become my thing too. Um, oh, interesting. An interesting piece of the confetti was tonight. I'd never seen this happen before. Daniel caught one of them that floated down and it was completely blank. And I don't think I'd seen a completely blank on both sides piece of confetti. So that was interesting. um, what else was going on? Um, I don't know, somebody had a couple of comments there that went by. I will be in New York. There's the party on the 29th with At U2. And so we're really looking forward to that. We'd love to have everybody come, and you can still get a ticket if you haven't already. And then there's going to be the show on the 30th and the 31st that I'll be at. And I'm very grateful that I'll have a ticket on the floor for the 31st to get to spend it in GA on that last night. Yes, Ali was there tonight. Bono gave a couple shout outs to Ali in the crowd, and that was pretty cool. She's been to a lot of them, actually. So they've had a lot of family. I think especially because of the death of Dennis Sheehan, I think the crew and family feel really bonded together. So he had a lot of books out tonight. I tweeted 5 of them. They were the ones on the ramp, but then they put a bunch more out on the East stage too. So I didn't get to see all of those, but it was fun to see that. Yeah, with Ali hanging out, I'm getting the sense that Ali and Bono are really having fun being a couple and just hanging out. She's coming on the concert. It just seems looser. It seems like the guys are loose and having fun and enjoying friendships, enjoying family, enjoying the towns that they're in. It seems like there's probably less pressure. Maybe it's the difference of having 27 semis towing all your gear rather than 45 or whatever it was, about half the gear, maybe half the pressure or something like that. It's still, such a detailed show. But, Jeff, yeah, it feels like a farewell tour. Well, I've been saying, here's my guess. I don't know that they'll ever have a farewell tour, but I think if you've got this triplet of albums coming out, you've got Songs of Innocence. They're already advertising Songs of Experience, and we know they've got a Songs of Ascent, and that is the stuff that mirrors some of the Psalms that they love so much, Songs of Ascent. That's a trilogy right there. It's pretty sure thing that that's coming out, and it would be an absolutely fantastic way to go out on Songs of Ascent, which will probably be more reflective, more artistic. I'm hoping in Songs of Experience we finally get that wild guitar album that Edge has been talking about for a decade now. That's in him. And so, yeah, could they stay retired? Well, by the time, they're going to be 60 by the time this comes out. Well, yeah, look at the Stones. That's what I would say. I mean, U2 has been very clear they don't want to become the Stones, and they don't want to become the Who, and they don't want to become, who else is kind of touring around right now? One of the things that could happen is they've hinted at that um, they're tired of, I think they're going to be tired of making pop tunes. And I think they could really make fan tunes now. I think they could really go in and just say, let's stop trying to fill the stadium and let's fill the club and let's fill the arena. And that would not feel like a step down to them at all. That would be a beautiful, wonderful, fulfilling way to end. Not to end, but just, to keep things going, I think. Um, So, the difference you have again with this band as opposed to any of the other bands that you could mention is you have the 4 original members. And that's what's so different. You have these guys saying that when one of them wants out, then they're done. There's no replacing members. There's no getting a new bass player or running through a string of drummers or something like that. Most of the other well, all the other bands at their age in the business has been doing. So that's really the defining thing about him, and that'll be the test of how it all ends too. And I don't want to be morbid or anything, but all it's going to take is an accident or an illness or a diagnosis, and the game's over too at this age for them. With one of them, um, but they'll certainly all stand and support each other, for a lifetime yet too. So yeah, we pray for their health, and we pray for their ability. I mean, think of the accident that Bono had. If Edge would have had that accident, like falling off the stage at Vancouver, the band's done. It's over. And so, that's pretty much all it takes. And I don't think they're ever gonna um, push themselves beyond that as well. Um, so, a few thoughts, I guess. I don't know what else came to mind. Anybody else have any thoughts in the room? What?
Stage.
What?
East Stage audio was good.
Oh yeah, we were noticing, and we loved being at the East Stage because of the audio, the sound system overhead. I noticed it the best of any time, being right there at the East Stage. It's what's really interesting is I don't quite know how they do the bullhorn, but even when Bono's down at the main stage, I mean, it's obviously got some kind of wireless complement in it for miking. It's not just a bullhorn that he's yelling into. But when he did more bullhorn tonight, bullet horn, bullhorn on Bullet the Blue Sky, bullet horn. Um, he did more in the bullet horn tonight than I'd seen, and it sounded like it was coming out of the E stage. It's really just coming right down on it, and it was pretty strong. The whole bullet piece and the megaphone and the rant, and then moving into the these are the hands that built America. And the idea I like, again, that he says so often, and he reemphasized tonight, is it's an idea that's still being born. I tweeted that one out. And I like being in the heart of, kind of America's birthplace, and to think about it in that ongoing, is that a perfect tense sense of still going, still happening, still being born. And so we've talked about that a little bit. So, got a question about doing some tourist stuff. Yeah, actually tomorrow and Friday, Thursday, we've got some time. They've got this little Freedom Trail, and it's got kind of a red line painted through downtown here. And we're going to go do the Freedom Trail. And then we are going to have some dinner with Sherry Lawrence. I don't think Sherry's on here now. She's probably in bed. And then we're all going to head over for the final Boston show. And that'll be it. And then I'll be going to New York City in another couple weeks, I guess. Are we going to be able to get you on the podcast? Oh, yeah, I'm sure we'll all take turns on the podcast. I'm kind of, everybody at U2, including Sherry and Matt, Tasula, I don't think you're in here tonight. I haven't seen you yet. Um, we're going to fire up a podcast. It'll probably be like once a month to start out with. We may get it going more than that. Probably twice a month, I would think. But these are more impromptu, these Crystal Ballrooms. And thanks to all of you who were tweeting out the new hashtag. That was fun. I just couldn't keep up. My phone kept flashing all I have the notifications on, and it would just like bing, 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 bing. And so I just kind of had to turn them off. And I don't know what you were all saying. I'll try to look back through some of my comments tonight. You're all being super nice, and that's just fun to do this together. And I need to thank a few of you who were working on that hashtag with me, because I tweeted out kind of this formal thing that we'd be using. I was real excited. You can't get Crystal Ballroom. There's several things going on with that. But I thought my wife and I were thinking U2 Crystal Ballroom, and so that was pretty cool. Jeff was killing it tonight. Well, Jeff, thank you. You were one of the initiators of the U2CB. So when I came on in our pre-conference chat, we kind of decided a few of us, and I'm really sorry for this. I know Val was in on this, Jeff was in on it, and help me out. Who was there's one of you gals was helping out in it. Oh, this is terrible that I'm forgetting. I apologize. Forgive me. It's past midnight now. Come on, somebody help me out. Jeff, who else was in the? There were a couple others that were in the conversation. You and Heather. Thanks, Sally. You and Heather were in on that. Thank you. Yeah, and so don't go on about Castell. I'm sorry. Castell ended up following me today. Castell, if you're listening in, sorry about the Cletus thing. So anyway, so we kind of landed on a couple of them and we pitched it out to you because that's the U2 thing to do. If you ever have ideas to suggest and we're working on something, don't suggest anything unless you don't want to be part of the committee. That's the way I work. So be part of that committee. And we came up with U2CB. And what was the other one? We had, I think, U2 Ballroom. That was a great one, too. So we came up with those two, and you all voted it in for U2CB. So tweet out the U2CB. Yeah, we'll keep working on those shirts. And U2 Ballroom was fun as well. But what it'll do is it's a way for us. Several of you have told me, oh, there's got to be a way that we can know each other a little bit better, and I think this might help us do that with the U2CB. It'll keep us in a conversation loop that I think could be fun. But don't forget about using the U2IE tour. That's really good. I got to meet the head of publicity tonight. She actually thanked us for doing the Crystal Ballroom. So that's U2's publicity people, the gal that leads that on its way. Hey there, Jeff, and shook my hand and thanked us for doing Crystal Ballroom. So it's yeah, I think she kind of knew of it as the post concert chat, but she definitely knew of it, and it'd be if you can make the party, it's going to be a pretty fun party, and some of those folks are going to show up. So it's really nice to have a wonderful, stronger, and all the time strengthening relationship with some of the really wonderful U2.com people who are helping out there. And I'll leave it at that because they've been really super and really nice. And you guys need to know that you've all helped make this a really fine little, kind of chat experience that, what happened. I think I had, when this is because of you guys, when I pinged on that last song when we broadcast Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, we had over 600 people. Excuse me, I'm out of steam here. We had over 600 people jump onto that. So that's pretty amazing. Thank you to all of you for doing that, because it's what we'll make of it. So Jim, I think it's you asking, or JMWV, do you think they'll come to back to the US? I will say that based on what I know, I would be shocked if they didn't. I don't know if we can talk about numbers of legs yet, but they're not done. Yeah, they're not done in Europe, that's for sure. So I'd sure like to see them get into the Southern Hemisphere. Yeah, I hope they can do that even before. I feel really bad for our friends down south, and I really want you guys to get this tour. I stood next to somebody tonight from North Carolina, and I feel bad for the southern states too. you folks in the southern states, we really want them to come down to you. And, probably first and foremost, I think some of you are picking up on that Dublin thing too. They really need to, I'm sure they're working on something for Dublin. So, you two, Lover, you're a reporter, and we'd love to do a story on this. What do you report for? That'd be fun. Well, I'm sure we could think of something great since I work for a news website. A stream for the party. We don't have anything formally planned. Um, I'll just say we don't have anything formally planned. Something will pop up probably. So probably be me. What did you RT? What did you retweet? Jeff, yeah, you do sports, right? Yeah, I've seen your sports gig. That's cool. Yeah, you're getting lots of thanks again for your Periscope. Was there anybody scoping tonight? Was there something consistent? I had a really bad signal. I couldn't even get tweets out for a while right down on the floor. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was pretty tough to get a good stream, especially from anybody who's trying it on the floor. I will. Mike Sullivan. Okay, wow, great. Was he up in the stands? I'm just curious. Or was he down on the floor? Because I'll probably try it tomorrow night, unless there's enough feeds already. Sherry was doing a mix LR, and there was probably more. Yes, he was in the stand. Lower, well, I got both here going on. Maybe he was lower stands. That could be. Yeah. Kimberly, yeah, you do PR, right? Events? Yeah, cool. He was, Mike was standing near E Stage 2? You think he was lower stands? Okay, yeah. Sherry moved around. She ended up being in the lower stands. Yeah, there's never enough feeds, right? Those feeds were very spotty. He was lower stands near E. That's a great spot to be to look up the stage, kind of too, and you can get that E coverage then. But yeah, I'll probably try something tonight. Let's see. Was there anything else surprising, or did you guys notice anything? Um, let's see, what else was going on? Is that change of order again? Did I enjoy the E stage more than the main stage? They were just both really different, and if I was only gonna see one show, I'd still probably try to be center of GA, somewhere towards the back, because you just get the full power of the screen. We didn't, the screen was nice and there was a lot of crowd shots, but you didn't get the full impact of it quite as much. So that's my favorite spot to be, is right in the middle of GA towards the back. And if I was going to do just one show, that's what I do. But if you get up there, we were right up in front of on the main stage for one time, and now we've been right at the E stage one time. I loved them both. They're just very, very different. I probably enjoyed the E stage more than I thought I would, because there was so much good, almost a conversation with the band. They were really quite interactive with the people right around him. One of the pictures I just tweeted out was in Until the End of the World. You remember when on the 360 tour, Bono would reach out for the edge over those bridges? That's the picture that I have up in my home office. Well, tonight he was doing that with a gal behind the barrier right at the E stage, again, kind of right beside us. So I tweeted out a little picture of that too. Some of you saw it, yeah. So I think, and that again, that's the whole notion of mysterious ways with the belly dancer. I saw Nagin, I saw your comment and thought of that. There's so much in this show about the old Pop Mart thing. You can reach, but you can't grab it. it's just, you know, right there, but can't quite touch it. And that's so much of what U2 tries to do. It's yeah, it's kind of partly tease, but it's partly reaching for something that's even better than the real thing, something that exists but isn't quite within our grasp. And you get that in Song for Someone again. You get this, what's the word? Um, Song for Someone. Yeah, Still Haven't Found is the same kind of thing. It's the reaching, yearning. What's the lyric? Song for Someone. The world that we can't. Um, I'm ridiculous. I'm supposed to be an expert at this. I never remember lyrics. At least I don't have any music playing tonight. Somebody will type it up here, I know. But Ultraviolet might peek into the set list. It did. Did you hear Ultraviolet tonight? Were you? It was pretty hidden, but it was. Where did it come in? Where did Ultraviolet come in? He was singing. You were the light
Streets of
bulb
No Name. Is
over.
that it?
What did he sing? He said, "You're the."
Light My Way.
He's saying light my way. He's saying light my way, light my way, light my way, or something like that. And he's done it before. It was real subtle. It was just tucked in. Do you remember? Was it in? It wasn't
I
in.
thought it was Streets.
I thought it was like at the end of Bullet or something like that,
No,
but I
it
can't
wasn't
remember.
Bullet.
Beautiful Day? I think it might have been
Yeah, that
Beautiful
was it.
Day.
It was
It was
Beautiful
Beautiful Day?
No, wait. It was
Mm.
Beautiful Day,
It was Beautiful
California.
Day.
And
Was that where the snippet was?
but
Baby,
they,
baby, baby, light my way. That's what he did. Thank you,
yeah.
Lori. Yep. Beautiful Day. There you go. Yep. So that was really cool to hear that in there. I wonder if that's maybe a tease that might bring it back out. Yeah, Nagin, that was one of the highlights of 360 for me. That last set with Ultraviolet and Walk On and I'm not Walk On, With or Without You and Moment of Surrender. Boom. That was one of the all-time best, along with um, All Because of You, Yahweh, and 40 from the Vertigo tour. Those three just lined up so perfectly too. Um, but anyway, yeah, it's they've been alternating endings here, and I like that. I think it's fun to just see it go different. Music Girl, Ultraviolet is so underrated. Yeah, it's an understated song too, really understated, as they like to do. They like to play really deep, reflective themes into these understated kinds of moments. You know what's interesting? I guess I haven't updated my iOS, and so what what my wife learned, I kept getting all these alien symbols up, like emoticons that show alien heads. Have you seen this? Well, that means that you guys are tweeting some kind of icons that I have iOS 8, I think, but I don't have the most recent update or something like that. So I love all the alien heads that come up because I don't know what you're actually trying to do, but you sing Ultraviolet during the end of Wowie. Yeah, you know what's great about Ultraviolet? See, I kind of half wondered if we'd see the steering wheel show up on this tour. But the steering wheel that ended 360 is really the light bulb that starts this tour. Have you thought about that? Swinging the light bulb, swinging the steering wheel during Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me, and Ultraviolet. And then what happens? The steering wheel goes up, and he says goodbye. And what comes down to start this show? Light bulb. What does he do to get it rid of? Rid of it? He swings it during Vertigo. Listen, these guys sit around with a team of some of the most brilliant creative people on the planet. I'm convinced of it. And wow, Music Girl, it's like a Nicolas Cage movie. You're going to have to do something with that because I don't. Wow. Oh, and again, you're right about that. In fact, I thought they would change that. So what Nagin just said is There's a moment when they show the light bulb. It comes in Sunday Bloody Sunday, I think is where this happens, or it might be until the end of the world. And it definitely looks like a noose. And I don't know if they did that on purpose. There's so little that happens by accident with this group, but there are these kind of serendipitous things that do happen in the show. As Bono says, the songs write us and tell us what to do. Um, I was kind of hope it could be because what happens is you see the outline of a light bulb and on the screen, and it's very quick. It just kind of zooms in and then it fills in with the light. But it does kind of look like a noose. Um, Part of the problem of that is we were getting all of this racial conflict about the same time in the States, with Ferguson and with Baltimore and others, um, about the same time they started the tour in Vancouver. And for many of us, that actual image of the noose, whether it's supposed to be or not, really had a kind of a deeply disturbing connotation because I think of our African American brothers and sisters who, the noose is like the Confederate flag, and because of all that racial stuff that was happening, I actually kind of thought they'd take it out. It was almost a little poor, but I do like it in terms of what Bono has said. He hasn't talked about the suicide theme in the last few concerts as much as he did in Montreal. It was quite thick. Toronto, sorry, Toronto is quite thick. Talking about he had this kind of suicide dialogue going on about "I will follow," and almost suggesting that "I will follow." Yeah, in Chicago too, right? "I will follow" was kind of this suicide night, a suicide note that I read. Thanks for tonight, and I say night. You're welcome, Chris. Thank you. Um, it is about unconditional love, but he said the song took on new meaning when he thought of it as love, not as a suicide note, saying, "I will follow you, Mom, to the grave." Because he's talked about several times that that was kind of the original context of the meaning of "I will follow." Um, but again, it does kind of loop back together. So the way I like to think about themes historically over U2 is not that they do a circle, which they do, your eyes make a circle kind of thing, right? But they do this spiral thing. Because if you look at a spring or a spiral from above, it looks like a circle, right? But if you look at it from the side in 3 dimensions, it's actually changing and progressing and morphing as it loops through its circles. A helix, thank you, yeah. So if you look at it from above, it looks like a circle. It looks like they're repeating themes, but those themes are changing and deepening and have greater nuance. And that's kind of a literary strategy as well, to think of that spiraling kind of theme too. Too late for that, sorry. Okay, well, why don't we end there? I got boys who want to go to sleep here, so I'm going to let them sleep as long as they want tomorrow. Been a long day. We got up at before 5 a.m. this morning. It's now probably close to 1 a.m. I think that means I'm getting close. No wonder I'm a little bug-eyed tonight. So anyway, let's call it a night. Thanks for those of you still hanging out. I can't believe you do that. And we'll probably do something little pre-concert chat tomorrow. In fact, Sherry and I are going to have dinner together with our families, and maybe we'll do something with that. That'd be fun too. All right. Thanks for the good nights. Thanks for the good work today on the new hashtag. And we will. Sally, where are you? It's 2:30 p.m. What are you in Hawaii or what? No, that's the wrong way, isn't it? No, that's the right way. Anyway, sound off. Where are you from? Oh, you're Adelaide, right? Great to have you. Thanks. Got some Australia going on. Hey, good old Fresno. Good night, Susan. All right, Missouri. Thank you. Chicago, Nebraska, Denver, NYC now. OC and NYC. All right. See ya, Chip. Down on I-95. Are you fighting the traffic, Perry? Sacramento, San Diego, OC, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Connecticut, New Jersey, Nashville. JT, were you on tonight? From Costa Rica. Then we have Brazil, Raul from Mexico. Not seeing them tonight, but it's kind of late, later than usual. So, okay, I'm out. Chicago via South Africa. Nice. I'm going to go put up the Crystal Ballroom online. Make sure we get that. Take care. Peace.